I am a sucker for when a story arc ends up having like two sides that acted shady the entire time. I mean, this trading company, apparently anyone who goes to work for them doesn't make it out alive. And then you have a group of people who seemingly are behind it, but then they ended up getting roped into a witch doctor scheme, and both sides in this story arc kind of did shitty things by the looks of it. I mean, you kicked the episode off, and I was like, oh shit, we're gutting some old man right off the bat. Okay, maybe they are really bad. But it's interesting because the truly negative thing on the trading company side of things right now is without a doubt the fact that they're probably going to target our main character, given the fact that he's going to be competition, and in a very Amazon business fashion, we will crush the smaller competitors before they can make more money than us. But given how this story arc functioned, I mean, both sides are acting pretty damn shady, and I like that. It's a fun turn of events because it's easy to, like, group yourself with a certain set of characters and say, oh, they're clearly the protagonists, they're clearly the good guys, and you could look at it from Makoto's point of view, like, the trading company seemed A-okay, the family was being turned into these, like, almost zombie-like creatures, and the adventurers who are attacking them, who are basically acting as assassins, seem like the bad guy. But put in their situations, you could easily view the trading company as the bad guy, and that's a pretty fun turn of events for a story where you have a character who's with two nuclear bombs that destroy villages when they get too serious, and you also are just more annoyed than anything when bad things happen. It's not like, oh shit, the entire town got destroyed, I'm gonna cry about it. He's literally just annoyed by it because that's just kind of the nature of his character right now. Even getting some smaller moments, like in the middle of trying to, like, secure these daughters and the wife, he was able to use techniques that he learned in his original life that he couldn't keep up with back when his sister was training him, but now with his newfound physique, he absolutely can. This show is a banger and is remaining to be pretty damn good, and from what I've been told, it's actually not that far into the source material so far. I think the light novel, and I heard the web novel has like even a shit ton more content that the light novel still is yet to adapt. So the fact that this is still considered pretty early stuff for the kind of Tsukimichi story, I think is a really great sign. Will we get multiple seasons? Like, is it going to be the most popular thing ever? Probably not. But it is nice to know that should the production committee want to pursue more than just 12 or 24 episodes, there's a lot more good content left to come, which is really fun. And I think the way they blend serious meets comedic is really fun because, I mean, just look at that scene when the assassins were trying to gang up on them, and we have Mio, like, literally get paid off to not support them. And I love the idea because at first, I didn't think Makoto had a plan of it. I thought she was just like, oh, clearly they're gonna kick their ass, so why not make some gold out of it? But the fact that it was like a willing thing because he doesn't want a repeat of them destroying the entire town, and then you have Tomoe who wouldn't even start fighting. She was only dodging until, you know, our boy said the cliche line. It was pretty great. Probably one of the funniest jokes in the episode is just that visual gag where he's like thinking and he ends up just kind of clocking a guy in the face as he's kind of humming and hawing what's going on, as they're all saying, isn't this mass dude level 1? Like, this show has been an absolute riot, and I'm very interested to see the future of the trading company because, I mean, given what happened, I mean, at first I was wondering, because the first 30 seconds of the episode is pretty horrifying, I was like, oh, was he the one who put the curse on his own family? Is this a ploy of some sort, right? Like, what's going on here? And the fact that, no, they were legitimately, like, turned into those creatures, I thought was a fun turn of events, because I was seeing some speculation that it was all complete bullshit, maybe the medicine was something completely different. But I mean, the idea of, like, them literally being that, I mean, when we saw him with his arm broke, I thought it was fake. I thought it was, like, a trap to lure Makoto into some sort of death. And no, like, I mean, seeing the ferocious nature of them, and that one moment where I think it was the daughter, or one of the daughters, says, please run, because she was trying to hold on to her humanity before she attacked, I mean, it's pretty horrifying. And I'm really excited to see if we'll see anything like dark like that going forward with the last 5 or so episodes, because we're reaching the end game of season 1, you know, the first core here. So I'm curious if if this is like a taste of what's to come for this season, because obviously I know it can get darker down the line, but we're still in what's considered a pretty intro phase of the story, so that'll be pretty interesting. I mean, the end of the episode looks like there's trouble brewing, but it'll be fun. And I'm glad that Tomoe actually ended up getting a kind of spy right here. I mean, when I saw Mio, like, strip this dude of all of his gold, it was bad enough, like, 10 gold to not even help you, but really, when you're fighting a nuclear bomb, that's probably a pretty good bargain that you didn't get killed by her. But the fact that she charged interest, like, this dude was completely robbed, and, you know, he was fooled, he was kind of betrayed, he was quitting adventuring life, and now he's going to be acting as a spy, using a katana, of course, because it is Tomoe. And I think that'll be fun. Like, if there's any character that we've seen kind of, like, side pop-up-wise, like, this dude seems like a genuinely nice guy who may have made some mistakes, but he has his heart in the right place. in a lot of ways he's wearing his heart on his sleeve, so I think it'll be a fun dynamic to see him pop up every now and again and act as a spy, and be a probably pretty valuable asset, all things considered. I mean, I was actually surprised that the train company didn't do anything to him, that because of the circumstance and the fact that Makoto was like the reason it kind of worked out of respect that they were going to allow that one to slide. And yeah, you can look at the end of the episode and say, yeah, but they're probably going to try to kill Makoto, but it's two different circumstances, right? In the present, he helped cure his family, right? That's something that is invaluable to him. Like, there's no price you could put on that. So of course he's going to look the other way when someone's probably partially responsible, even if it wasn't a direct involvement. Where with the future of someone being a trading company that could outsurpass you in profits, well, even if you really respect the guy for doing that, I mean, he might try to kill him because of profits, and that's a pretty businessman-like thing to do. Even if in the real world we're not sending assassins, we do pretty much the equivalent with businesses, like, you know, basically pushing the smaller guys away and this and that, so it's just kind of like a more ridiculously depressing approach, but pretty realistic given the world and its mechanics. I mean, Tsukimichi's always a blast, and I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get a 2-core, because this is one of those shows that I do wonder if it is going to be a one and done. Hopefully not. I mean, Isekais, especially with so many different companies, literally funding 50 in the next 3 years, give or take, right? There's a pretty good shot you'll get at least one more season, but it is always a little worrying, especially when a show that, even though I could say it's probably doing pretty well in Japan, you never quite know in the West, and there's all these varying factors, and when you find an isekai that really speaks to you, you want to see it at least get more than the isekais that you don't like and you're wondering why did they get 3 seasons and this gem of a show got 10 to 12 episodes, right? So I'm crossing my fingers. I mean, you can always say, like, of course we'll get more because of this type of popularity, but production committees have made stupider decisions. They've decided to fund new stuff in favor of new hype rather than continuing on hype that probably would make them more money on the long term, but this has been a very refined show, all things considered. I mean, I walked into this one thinking to be pretty fun. The preview looked pretty good, but I mean, the color palette, the character designs, and the way they move, especially with some of the more funny scenes, the way they direct it, it's really been a surprise for me this season. Not really on the story and character-wise, like, I was pretty sure I'd like that. More on the production side has been the pleasant surprise for me. But then again, all the Isekais this season have done a pretty good job. I mean, only really Slime is what we've already seen before, because we've already had part 1, but all the new Isekais have definitely done something a little different with their formula, whether going serious, comedic, or a bit of both, and that's pretty fun for me. I still think the opening is still one of the best of this season. Like, I tend to be the one who doesn't really listen to too many openings, because I figure, like, if you want to listen to an opening, you can do so at any point. Turn on YouTube, turn on, hell, even Spotify has many of these damn openings, right? But this one, both visually and song, like, I still listen to it. I think it's just so good. Like, it makes me more excited for the episode, which is, I think, something that doesn't happen a lot, I find, with, like, I'll say, oh, I like this anime opening, but Tsukimichi is kind of like that bread and butter, where it's just like, I don't know, I get giddy. I feel like a kid on Saturday morning. Maybe it's just me, but that shit's awesome. Let me know your thoughts, though, on this week's episode. What do you think of the train company, our new assassin turned spy? What do you hope to see in the future? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Since next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.